just to talk about, because you said as a Christian, these are the qualifications of being a husband and a wife. And I want to talk about two parts, or ask two parts to this question. One, how important is it for single people who Christian to have the blessing from their pastoral team, from their pastors, and talk about that. And the second part that I want to talk about is Christians who decide to go to City Hall to get married. And what is your stance on that? Once again, it kind of correlates with both questions, and one being your pastors, whether female or male or whatever, sharing with you that this is not who you should be marrying. I just bring myself to the point, besides you guys being my biological parents, but the week before my wedding, I said to my pastors, if this is not right, I will quit this today. And it's not even to be funny, it was really sincere, because this is your life. You know, someone can be in your life and steer you the wrong way and put a strain on where you're trying to go. And especially for people who know their purpose, who are educated, who are business-minded, who have all these different things, and to allow somebody to come into your life and to tear that down is really a sad story. So I just want you to just share the importance of having that pastoral leadership to even help you to discern. Yeah. Because no one would make a decision to marry Boo-Boo the Fool if they have their pastoral leadership to give them insight. Yeah. They wouldn't. I just believe that. I believe that nobody will go down the aisle and want the pastor who's speaking to them to marry them, and they see that the person is not right. They see that the person is going whatever. And also the part where they say, well, I'm not going to go to my pastor. I'm going to go to City Hall and come back and bring the person.
Well,
let me say this. You know, I had somebody call me up, and they called me up. They didn't ask me this once. They asked me twice. And the pastor made them a daughter. Not only a daughter, but she was a minister in the church. She was a minister in the church. And so she called me and said, well, I want to marry this person. And I feel that it'd be best for us to go to City Hall. And I told her, you know, she called me up and asked me this question. Now, she could have did this on her own, but she called me and asked me. I said, now, your pastor has made you a daughter. Not only have your pastor made you a daughter, your pastor also made you a leader in the church. In other, she was a prophetess or whatever in the church. And I said, how are you going to shame the church that you are under and go to City Hall when you're supposed to be a daughter and a leader at the church? She said, well, you know, I don't really want to, I don't, because the people at my church, they don't understand him and they don't like him, so I think it'd be better for us to go somewhere. I said, well, something wrong with this picture. Because he did not want counseling from their pastor. He felt that, you know, that both parties were saved. Both parties were saved. And she was coming to me and called me up and said, well, what should I do about it? And I said, that'll be a shame to your leader. Right. I said, how dare you go and shame your leader in your church by going to City Hall? Yeah. And so I didn't recommend it. I didn't. And she's not married to him today, but it's still with her covering, saying, well, they don't understand him. Yeah. And now that's something wrong with that picture. Because if he want her, he want us.
Plus, that is really, let alone to leadership, that's really like a slap in the face to God. That you would choose, instead of having your spiritual leader, you would choose a possible heathen judge. Now I say if you saved, to marry you and you're a Christian, believing in biblical principles, than a spiritual leader. A heathen judge, possible. Even on paper, that don't even sound right for a Christian to do that. He also
said that he was a prophet within himself.
Well, you know.
He was a man of God. See, the thing about this, I'm telling you, have.
Yeah, I know.
She called me up and said, he's a man of God too.
Yeah.
You know, and he's big in church. But I don't want him to, the church is not, you know, they don't like him.
You know, let's say this, you saying it, because you can call yourself whatever. And then I'll say this. You can have people with titles. That don't automatically mean you in order. People in positions get out of order every day. So that don't mean that. Because a person is, you know, they're an evangelist in the church, so they know God. And? What does that mean? You know, and basically when stuff like that happens, and I'm going to tell you, 99% of the time, when a woman or if it's a man, when they do that, they've got the red flag. They know something not right. They just don't want to deal with it. So then you manufacture an excuse. Like the church, they just don't understand him or don't like him. You got a red flag. You know something is not right. And then a lot of people we see, they go ahead and do it anyway. And then 6 months, 6 years down the line, chaos. You know. So when every time anybody try to get around, if you're a Christian, try to get around standards and principles of church, you done got out of order already. You know, it don't matter what you say. I don't care if you Ebobo Shando. It doesn't matter. And people do that all the time. You know. So yeah, that's totally out of order. And it's the truth. Why would if you are a Christian, man or woman, and believe God in all of this, and you'll go instead of being, and I'm not saying you have to be in a church per se. You know, I have no problem with just the place, but you got a spiritual leader who's blessing it, then a possible heathenist judge.
But then also too, we have a couple at our church right now that this person that they met, they did not meet in church. They did not meet in church. She met him somewhere else, and he came to our church, and he was interested in her. And I told him, before you even look at her, you got to be a tither, and you got to come to my church. And of course, he didn't know me. He didn't know me at all. But he probably said, this woman telling me what to do. But I told him what to do. But he loved her enough. And he became a tither, and he came to the church, and they married today.
Well, the thing, too, is you were saying something what was, and I believe you knew it, that was something, wasn't just saying something to be saying something. That's what the Lord needed you to say to him. See, now, when you ain't spiritual minded, that sounds like, you all in my business. We ain't about that here. It's either God or no. So that's what that was about.
But what I'm saying is that she did not meet him in the church.
Right.
She didn't meet him in the church. But he was following her.
Right.
He wanted to marry her.
Right.
And I said, well, she's my daughter, and you just can't, you don't bring no curse on her. Because when you marry an untither, and the person, you bring the curse on the family.
Well, let me put it that way. You can stop the flow of the blessing. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
You know. So to answer that question, absolutely. To get around that, it's just out of order. It's just totally out of order. And like I say, and a lot of people don't want to deal with that because our flesh, you know, our flesh is selfish. You know, your flesh would want anything before God. It is selfish. I'm talking about flesh. I ain't saying you. The flesh in itself, it talks about in the script, it's sensual. It's evil. And that's what most people do. A lot of people do. You know, they know if they say they know they should, they know, but their flesh is so, you know. And then you have other reasons. We know this, people with fear. That, you know, I don't want to make this, you know, if I tell this person they got to do this, they might leave. And you know what a lot of that, and we're going to wrap this up, where that gets, it goes right back to square one. If you get yourself together, trust me on this, you will avoid A lot of stuff. See, this is with anything. If there's certain things that's embedded, that's truly in you, and this is who you are, you won't even necessarily have to worry with certain type of people even coming your way. They won't. Now that's hard for some people, because you hear people, why I keep attracted to all these crazy bad people? Because there's a set point in you that attracts that. Let me say this in a good way. Come on with this. And this is nothing against sin is sin. This is nothing against it. Now, let me say it in a nice way. And I love everybody. I'm not against people. You know, as God, He hates the sin, but not the sinner. That's not it. But in a good example, homosexuality. That never, saved before saved, anyone ever approached me like that. Even when I got saved, even as a pastor, and I know quite a few, they're afraid to come around me. I know some preachers, because there's nothing in me. They won't even come around. If that was just a little bit, because I'm telling the truth, it's a set point in all of us. And you're going to attract what's in you. You could have a person who's on drugs and they say, I just need to get out of Chicago and go to California. Guess what? It's going to be in California. Debate me on that. You can't. It's a set point in everybody. Everybody. And whatever's rooted in that, that attraction is going to come like that.
That's why you gotta get it out of you.
You got to get it out of you.
You gotta get it out.
I talked about it Sunday. You got to get them trees, get it uprooted.
Get it out.
So you don't
I'm not
even,
that person
so
anymore.
exactly. So you can avoid even certain things like that coming at you. You got yourself together where, hey, listen, I'm in God, I'm blah, blah, blah. Your head straight on. You trying to build your business, your money. You ain't got time for no starter dude. You won't even be attracted to that. A starter dude, he'll look from a distance, but he'll know he ain't got a chance.
Because I'm busy working on me.
That's real life, folks. Now, I ain't coming against you. I feel somebody. I ain't coming against you. If certain things coming against you, you know what? I need to work on me then. I need to get that out of me. Because I keep attracting these bums. I keep attracting these nasty girls. I got to get that out of me so I can stop the attraction. Stop the attraction. I'll take it a step further. You know why women don't come after me? They look. They got binoculars. Come on, this real life. They got binoculars from here to California. But you know why they don't? Because it ain't in me. And they ain't coming at me like that. They ain't got nothing to do with her. Don't think for a minute, oh, his wife. I ain't got nothing to do with that. They don't know her. If that spirit of adultery was in me, the line would be from here to Nova Scotia. I talk to preachers about that, pastors about that. That they wives getting all mad and going off in church. They ain't got nothing to do with that. It start with him.
Yeah, I do. I talk to pastor's wife and stuff, and women would come into the church and doing stuff. And I said, you better check him.
Check him.
Check him. I mean, I'm not, you just don't know. Look at him. Look at him. Go ahead.